All right, guys. Moving on to example 3. We're going to really test your thinking here. We're going to rely on this problem. Suppose two brothers who live 55 miles apart decide to have lunch together. To prevent either brother from driving the entire distance, they agree to leave their homes at the exact same time. That's important. Drive towards each other and meet somewhere along the route, wherever they run into each other. The older brother drives cautiously at an average speed of 60 miles per hour, not too cautious. The younger brother drives faster, though, at an average speed of 70, much less cautious. How long will it take the brothers to meet? I'm actually going to add a question. How far did each bro travel? Okay, so we're going to actually answer more than what's originally on this example here. All right, we're going to start with the time. Now, we're talking about distance traveled, speed of a car, and how long it takes. Now, in my mind, that brings me back to something that we should have all learned about before, but if not, I'll bring it back up here. Good old D equals RT. Distance equals rate times time. All right, now, let's go ahead and talk about what we know. They live 55 miles apart. I've already drawn a little picture here. Okay, they're going to meet somewhere in the middle. We're not sure. We got a distance that this brother travels, and actually we have a distance here of 55 minus D. If that guy travels a certain distance, this guy's going to travel the rest of that distance, so 55 minus the other brother's distance. And we also know how fast they are traveling. Okay, one brother's going 60, the other brother's going 70. So distance equals rate times time. All right, so let's think about that. We know that the two brothers together are going to travel a distance of 55 equals, well, what's the rate and what's the time for the first brother? Well, we know his rate. He was going 60 miles an hour, but we don't know his time. Okay, and the other brother, we know how fast his rate was, but we don't know his time either. We do know the time should be the same because they left the house at the same time and are meeting in the middle. So we know that it's the same variable for t there. Okay? All right, so what we want to do now is figure out what t should be. So we're going to combine like terms. All right, so we got 130t, and then we're going to divide by 130 to solve this out. And we get 0.42 t equals t. So 0.42 hours. Now, I don't know about y'all, but when I talk to my friends and neighbors and whatnot, I tell somebody I'm going to meet them there. I don't say, hey, I'll meet you in 0.42 hours. Right? If it's less than an hour, we generally would give that time in minutes. So it's reasonable that we should convert this to minutes. So let's do that. All right, so we're going to use those conversion charts again. And what do I know about hours to minutes? Well, I know that in 1 hour, and I always do the units that I'm going to cancel out, top versus bottom, and then I want to go to minutes, right? So I know that there are 60 minutes in 1 hour. All right, so we're going to use that conversion again, multiply across the top, divide by whatever's on the bottom, which in this case is just 1. So 0.42 times 60 gives us 25.2, and again, I'm rounding to about 1 decimal place here, minutes. And probably, if this were realistic talk here, I would say, hey, I'll meet you in 25, it'll take us about 25 or 26 minutes, depending on how exact we're trying to be. This would actually round closer to 25 than to 26, obviously. Now, that's our time. That's our time. I want to look at this problem a different way, though, as to how you would find distance. How far did each brother travel? Okay, so let's use the d that I had up here and the 55 minus d to do that. So I need to rearrange my formula a little bit. So I'm going to bring it over here and I'm going to rearrange it just a little bit. D equals r times t. All right, I'm actually going to solve that thing for t. Divide by r, divide by r. So what I now have is t equals distance divided by rate. Okay. All right. Let me think about that. How am I going to use that? Well, what do I know about the first brother? Well, I know that he traveled a certain distance at a rate of 60 miles per hour. And that equals t. I know that the other brother drove for the same amount of time, so that's also going to equal t. Both of these should equal the same t value, right? Same t amount. But I know that he traveled 55 minus d over his rate, which was 70. Okay? So if I take out the missing piece or the piece in the middle that they're both equal to, I can actually set the two of those equal to each other. So that would be d over 60 equals 55 minus d over 70. Now, this is a fraction equal to another fraction. That's a proportion. That's also something where we can multiply by the reciprocal on one side, the easier side being this side. So we're going to multiply by 60 over d. And the reason I want to do that is to get it all set equal to 1, and then we can kind of clean it up from there. So what's going to happen over here? 60 divided by 60, those cancel. D divided by D, those cancel. So I'm left with 1 equals, that's going to be 55 minus D times 60 on the top and 70D on the bottom. Now, to clean that up, I'm going to move the 70D to the other side, multiply it on both sides, right? Now, you could have cross-multiplied up here. You could have cross-multiplied right here, and that would be fine. But just to kind of show you, kind of space it out a little bit for everybody to see. That's going to give us 70D equals, and if it's okay with everybody, let's cancel out. I'm going to go ahead and distribute this on top. And when I do, what I end up with is 3,300 minus 60D. Okay, I'm now going to actually add that 60D to both sides. That's going to be 130D equals 3,300. Divide by the 130. And that's going to give me D equals 25.3. And we're just going to leave it rounded at that. Now, again, that's D. That's the distance that the 60 mile per hour brother traveled. Okay, so he traveled 25.3 miles. Well, to figure out what the other brother traveled, we would do 55 minus the 25, which is going to be 29.7 miles. All right, and there you go. You got your overall time that it took for both the brothers, and you actually went ahead and found the distance that each one of them traveled as well. All right, well done, guys.